Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing really well. My name's Eva and I want to thank you for joining me here in this video. Today I'm feeling really called because, man, for a long while now, but especially now during this really heightened period of solar activity and all of these solar plasmas that are really deeply hitting physically now, and physical manifestations in the structure of the earth are really coming to the forefront. And if you've seen me before, and also this is, something that other people talk about too, we are of the planet, our physical bodies are of the planet, and the process that the planet is going through is the process that we're going through as well. So a lot of the codes, the solar codes that have been coming through, are for this physical transformation. Now, as we see through interdimensional vision and sort of simultaneous multidimensional vision, we see that the physical change is the manifestation of the consciousness change, but the physical does indeed change. And I wanted to do this video in support of that change, in assistance of that change, in progression of that change, and ease of that change, because it can be a lot on the body and it can feel very exhausting, and there can be unexplained kind of changes and new expansion into different gifts or different perception, different manifestations of that perception. So to ease in understanding, to ease your mind through it as well, to be willing to receive different methods of communication and to extend into different methods of communication. And also ease in sort of the emotional and mental response that can come through agitation, anger, reaction triggered responses from wounds that are still coming up to clear. Really deep ones can be involving like your family or people you're close with that you feel like just kind of don't understand. They might not be on the same page. They can be responding to you and sort of continuing to play out maybe old programs from childhood that are still disturbing. So we really want to bring in this love. We want to bring in this full support, feeling like even if you feel like you're walking this path in solitude, or you might be among people, but you still feel like you are walking alone, that you're not alone. You're not doing this alone. We are not our bodies. You are infinitely connected to all things, and we are meant to be in awareness of this connection. And this will ease in your physical transition as well, because, or evolution, everything is always evolving. We've been evolving, and this consciousness evolution, while it might not look like it to what we're playing out, has been happening since time began, because the self is always calling self home. So while this is all times and all now moments are unique in their expression, although the patterns here are what are repeating. So we're looking at echoes of this first choice for separation in uniquely patterned ways in discrete form. So we always in this channel work on the pattern level so that those things can echo out through all time space into resolving and dissolving. But really we just want to bring ease and support, assistance, to know, that all life is with you. Your guides, trees, plants, animals, all of the elemental forces around us, all of the unseen, to make the unseen more seen to us, but maybe seen in ways that we didn't really understand could be seeing. So just taking nice deep breaths. This is a hell of a ride we're on right now. Holding deep support for yourself so that you can hold support for others and for the field, strengthening of the self and the enlightenment of the form. Kinimasni tamnayo no itayo kori kanitayan. Mi shayatoru itisti kana yayo kuyi. Shitawu yutyo yisini tamayo tui kaya ina. Shini tani tana tuni pana kayo shinakoru yu tosoyo toa. And it is, those lingering attachments and pain is what we want to highlight to be dissolved. What we're still clinging on to. We've made so much progress. We're stepping so beautifully into the new, into the enlightened, into the loving, into the unification. But there are still lingering connections into fear, and we want to bring those into awareness. We have to bring them up to the light of the truth. You can't bring truth to illusions to make the illusions valid. That's not what we do. We have to be brave enough to look at what we don't want to see and bring it up. But you don't have to look for long. You just have to recognize that it's there, that you're holding on to it, and you don't want it anymore. Take responsibility for your holding, for your choice to believe in it. But remember that belief is changeable. Hini na wari tuni panashana wasui tao shikini kana koruitia. And it's also assistance in not looking to the 3D world or what we see with our body's eyes playing out as the evidence for our progress. Or the progress of the world, or what's happening in the world. Because it looks like it's all going to shit. And it will look like that if you choose to see it that way. But you have to understand that it is your choice to see the way that it is for you, and that your choice of seeing is what changes your experience and is what puts you in whatever timeline manifests from your choosing. You are in the driver's seat of this experience. And this is such a crux of what we don't believe. Because we've made this idea of other so solid and so horrifying. We hold so strongly to the belief in our own weakness. This is not what Spirit is asking us. Spirit is asking us to confront this belief and instead choose the enlightened belief, the Spirit-led belief that you are eternal beingness itself, and that you have infinite support in the field, and that you are a powerful creator being. Matayan shiata waspi pa tuno tana kinayan shiaya. Hiria toruiti and sun shikni tasi kayayana. Just like lots of ease, lots of progressive code, progressive energy for your progressive evolution. Sininum bishono tua usuntipa onchia iti koruiti sia. Hina tani toritis dashi kaya. Suyuana umshini tawa suyisha urua. Hina tusi shitas nitana. Connecting to the spirits of the land. Nainyo no aroin sota. Almost like guardian spirits of the land as well. Kinitio sotipishana tusun sini tonaptaiki. Hionatis. Remember, we heal as one or not at all. So we want to heal these relationships with the other to see that we're not in opposition, that we're here to assist each other, and that we all have codes to share, and that our natural expression, our organic expression is important. It's necessary. It's necessary for you to emit your natural progression. You are important. What you have here is important. It's necessary to be emitted. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to go on YouTube and share it this way, but just walking around your daily life, whatever it is that you do, that you're emitting your authentic expression led by your peace, and that you deserve to be heard. I don't like deserving as a concept because it does imply a lack. It implies a distortion in this oppositional give and take. And this is something to be looked at as well. You're not deserving because you've earned it out of hard work and that you've given so much of yourself. You deserve it merely because of what you are. Like, it's your inheritance, it's your birthright. This is what you've come to do. And we need to confront the fear that says that you need to shut up and be quiet, or that what you have to say isn't meaningful or important and nobody listens and nobody understands and nobody cares. And why would they? Because I'm worthless. Like this, we all have a level of this belief. And we hold all of this evidence of every time that we've been slighted and every time that you shared something that you were really excited about and it kind of fell to deaf ears, or somebody just started talking about themselves, or people don't ask you how your day is, or you feel like people are asking so much of you or just expect you to support them and do things for them because they think you're strong or whatever they think you are. They can notice this evolution in you. And then this sort of draining. And then it's so easy to fall into being angry, or being sad, or feeling left out, or reinforcing. We start to reinforce those patterns, but we want to let that go. And it is difficult. And it is a maturity, right? It is this spiritual maturity. It is a practice to see from these more expanded dimensions. Not that you put yourself in situations where you're like, oh, well, I've worked on my consciousness and now that means that I have to put myself in situations where I am taken advantage of, or I'm in a support role, so what I really want doesn't matter because I'm here and I'm capable of holding a lot for others. No, this is not it. Kininano nusham nain satakoru horoi piesunchi kiniti sindati anashum siri tawo soshibia sikiritis natriti sin. Na wonchi kimia sahuru ariti sikayatina tanain chariyusya. It is like open to equating, like seeing the natural order as being like one. This is a unity consciousness channel. This is always what we're trying to do. And, what's sort of coming up is also like this message of Jesus being like, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. Like, when people are enacting out of their ego, and when we respond in turn out of our ego, and if we're responding in fear, defense, protection, or attack, because defense and attack are two sides of the same coin, you are also participating with your ego. And you would want to forgive yourself and be forgiven by others so that you can release that. You wouldn't want to be held forever in that choice. So we don't condemn people to limitation by holding them in that false choice. And this is where forgiveness comes in. We have to choose to see it a different way. We have to choose to see it again. We have to choose to see it from that more mature, evolved perspective, because we don't want to linger. To react that way. Then when those come up, that's when we choose to see again and we say, this is uncomfortable. This isn't what I want to be feeling. This is not how I want to see this. I know that there's another way to see this that will release me and the other through my sight of them. For me to choose to see the truth in them instead of the illusion that I know that I am participating in now. We don't reinforce delusions. And this doesn't mean that we negate our own pain. You bring that up to love, though. You don't condemn yourself that's painful to more pain. You got to bring it to the light of the truth, to be loved. And you hold that love as well. That love is always within you. That love is what you're made out of. That love is your birthright. That love is your intention. That love is your creation. That's the energy of all that is, the force, the creative force of all that is. And so that's always accessible to you. Minitano koruiti sumshikini tansakayan shikini kana uyoto sumshikini duyotoruitisya. But this time does call for radical forgiveness. And not being afraid of not participating with situations or narratives or conversations where the other person is participating in denser forms. You don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to stick around if they're not picking up what you're putting down. You don't do it out of anger. You don't do it as like throwing up middle fingers and being like, F you guys. Like, that's not the energy with which you do it. You do it to preserve your peace, understanding that that choice is in the highest good for all, because you are emitting then, in your choice, you are emitting that reality. You can't choose what other people are going to do with it. That's okay. Where we are responsible to each other is not at the level of the ego. Where we are responsible to each other is a level of soul, level of heart, and we can only be doing that if we're choosing from that place for ourselves. And I know that it's hard, especially if and we've all experienced pain here. But if you're still in community with, or in situations where you're with people who don't understand, or who aren't choosing the way that you're choosing, and those are people who are involved or were involved with out of whack dynamics that set up cycles of disempowerment and unworthiness, that sparks a lot of that to come up. But be brave, be strong, know that you're capable of doing all of this. Know that the sun is in full support of this transformation. The sun is assisting, the sun is setting course. We do all come from the sun. And understand this is extrapolated down outward in dimensionality. But we are all of the sun. We are all of the one sun. God has one sun. Yanayin suptishum tsakina tisan tata korui tapta. Yanashana wosokanapta yiti konim shesi toyan zoruitain. Nandrita sini shini kanisan andrite soishi. Sotani kanatosh. Don't be afraid to choose for yourself. It's hard because we have all this programming of sacrifice. And needing to participate with things that we know aren't good for us because that's the way it is. This must be challenged within us and it must be abandoned. Just let go of it because it doesn't work and it's not of love. It does not, there's no consequence in spirit to letting go of illusions except that you can see clearly, except that you will know yourself. It's only the ego that holds punishment. It's only the ego that believes in death. It's only the ego that retaliates. Spirit doesn't do any of that. And you will be shown. But if you're looking from the eyes of the ego, then what your spirit self is asking you to let go of will look like a sacrifice. So you have to practice looking at what you are from the eyes of spirit. It's a reorientation from where the current is flowing from. We see this current of plasmic energy flowing from the sun to the earth. Look at this then as yourself as a mirror. If your heart is the sun, that you are emitting all of this energy to meet it, to grow this higher, more expanded consciousness from within the center of all things, so that you actually may see it reflected from you because you are emitting it. It's not, and you won't, and if you don't practice that, you won't be aware of the effects that you're receiving, or you'll see them in a distorted way because you're looking from the wrong eyes. You can't look from both sets of eyes. One costs the other. So you have to choose, and it's so important. Kini kanayon so kini shiniti, for your happiness. Not because you're going to be punished if you don't, but you're going to be in pain if you don't, because you're choosing fear, you're choosing separation, you're choosing to see yourself from a vantage point that you made up in fear. It's not reflecting the reality of what you are. Kini kana konimon doruiti. So just taking some nice deep breaths, bringing yourself back to your awareness of yourself in this moment. Kininashan soni wansniam chorui tisa yashini dayasini diandat, to remember your holiness, your worthiness as a being. Kinatasi yayanayon tuari tistayashnatani kamat. Yes. Very beautiful. I want to thank you all for joining me here. A bit of housekeeping. One-on-ones are open and very, very gorgeous at this time. Solar Thread. Later today I'll be posting the rest of week 6. And I think next Thursday I'll do a live session that I'm opening to the group. So you should sign up for my newsletter to get that link, and then I'll post it on the community tab, and I'll go back and I'll put it in the description of this video. Such a crazy transformative program. I'm so kind of in awe of it, and how cool it is to bring through. So it's not a class. It's an immersion. It's an artistic immersion, and an immersion in wisdom to reconnect you to what you really are through, like, truly interdimensionally, and accepting an acceptance of what you are. Deep healing. Love heals. So to immerse yourself in love is healing. And to immerse yourself in creation and in the creative process that is enlightened with love, with the intention of unity. This is what this program is. Trance meditations on the website, personalized recordings available, lots of ways to work together. We've got a channel membership now, so we're doing weekly, sort of more specific kind of messages for the week and healing for the week ahead. Monday, Sunday night, Monday, those get posted. I do them and I post them on that day. And yeah, anything else, if you guys have questions or comments, would love to hear from you. Love to hear how the energies come through for you all, and what you're experiencing may be helpful to others. So if you feel comfortable, would love to hear from you. And I will end it here. But again, thank you so much for joining me, and I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.